If you're hunting for a USB-C to USB-C cable that promises fast charging, solid build, and an ergonomic design, then you've probably stumbled upon the Syncwire USB-C to USB-C cable. But here's what surprised me. This cable isn't exactly the flawless lifesaver it markets itself to be. You'd expect a 4.7-star rated product with aerospace alloy and double-layer nylon braiding to be a champion for durability and speed, right? However, beneath its slick right-angled design and glowing reviews, there are some hidden quirks and performance concerns that you absolutely need to know before hitting buy. Stick around because by the end, I'll tell you whether this cable deserves a spot in your tech bag or if you're better off charging ahead without it. Let's kick off by diving into what makes the Syncwire cable stand out. Right off the bat, it flaunts a clever humanized 90-degree L design. This isn't just a flashy gimmick. The idea is that it reduces wear and tear on your device's charging port, especially if you're the kind who watches videos or reads ebooks with your phone standing upright. Imagine this. You're playing your favorite mobile game, and instead of your hand getting jammed awkwardly on a straight cable, this right-angle design gives you more room and comfort. It's also ideal for tight spaces. You know, like when you're charging your laptop in the cramped backseat of a car or in those awkward power outlet nooks at the airport. Now, that sounds promising, doesn't it? But wait, if you're using a phone case thicker than 0.2 inches, brace yourself because compatibility could be a headache here, potentially negating one of its main perks. Now, I promised we'd get real about speed, so here's the scoop. Syncwire boasts PD fast charging technology with up to 60 W power output and data transfer speeds clocking in at 480 Mbps using USB 2.0 standards. Translation: it's capable of charging your iPhone from 15% to 60% in just 30 minutes and syncing 1,000 songs per minute, or so the listing claims. But here's the twist. 480 Mbps is still USB 2.0 speed, which is pretty standard and frankly underwhelming, especially in 2024 when USB 3.1 or Thunderbolt options are flying around boasting gigabit-plus speeds. For users wanting blazing fast data transfers, say goodbye to lightning-speed backups and hello to a few extra seconds or minutes waiting around. So if data transfer is your bread and butter, this cable might leave you a bit hungry. Don't get me wrong though, that 60 WPD fast charging is nothing to scoff at. It's a sweet spot for most smartphones and even smaller laptops, including the MacBook Air 13. But heads up, if you're rocking a MacBook Pro 16 or other high-wattage devices that need up to 100 W or more chargers, this cable might not unleash their full charging potential. It's like planting a Ferrari in a Corolla's parking spot, good, but not quite the red line you might want. Here's a fun little joke before we hop further. Why did the laptop bring a charger to therapy? Because it had too many connection issues. Now, speaking of connection issues, let's talk durability. Syncwire claims to be built from ultra-strong aerospace alloy paired with a double-layer nylon braided wire, promising up to 10,000 bends resistance. That sounds like the kind of cable your pet dog can't ruin even if it mistook it for a chew toy during a midnight snack attack. While in real life this cable is more durable than your generic plastic-coated cables, some users have reported occasional fraying near the connectors after extended use, so not exactly bulletproof. Another chuckle-worthy moment. Why did the USB cable quit its job? It couldn't handle the current workload. Thankfully, Syncwire tries to keep burnout to a minimum through its wear-resistant tech, but something to keep in mind if you're rough with your cables. Now let's zoom out a bit. Who exactly is this cable for? If you need a cable for casual daily use, charging your smartphone, tablet, occasional file transfer, or even topping up your MacBook Air, this cable can be a solid choice, especially considering that it comes in 2 packs with 6.6 feet length each. That's long enough to wander your room or office while charging instead of being chained next to a wall socket. Plus, The flexible, easy-to-store design makes it travel-friendly, perfect for students, working professionals, or travelers who hate short cables that barely reach the desk. But if you're a power user who relies on ultra-fast data transfers or chargers demanding over 60W, you might hit some ceiling with this one. Let's address a pretty unique feature that makes Syncwire a bit special. The L-shaped connector isn't just about comfort. It also protects your device's port by reducing angle stress, particularly when you use your phone in portrait mode. This ergonomic twist might seem like a small upgrade, but when you're gaming for hours or binge-watching your favorite series, it actually helps prevent accidental yanks and damage to your charging port. But here's the catch. If you're a heavy multitasker who switches between portrait and landscape mode nonstop, and you use a thick phone case, you'll find the cable either slightly loose or incompatible unless you ditch your case or shell out for a slimmer one. Not exactly the plug-and-play experience you expect. Now here's a quick rehook. What if I told you that despite some flaws, the Syncwire USB C cable has managed to win over a large crowd and net thousands of positive reviews? Curious how that happened? It's because the brand nailed balance, affordable price, good build quality, and a few clever design touches like the right angle and long cable length make it a reliable companion for everyday charging. Still skeptical? I understand. There's also the promise of wide compatibility covering almost every USB-C device under the sun, from the latest iPhone 15 and Samsung Galaxy S24 to Google Pixels, MacBooks, iPads, and even e-readers like the Kindle. In short, it's the cable that tries to be everything for everyone. But as the saying goes, sometimes trying to please everyone leaves you pleasing no one perfectly. Speaking of wide compatibility, here's a joke to lighten things up. Why don't USB cables ever get lost? Because they always stick to their ports. Syncwire's cable indeed sticks well, but it's not a flawless match for every phone case or device thick enough to throw off the 90-degree design snugness. Also, if you're plugging into older USB-A ports directly, rather than USB-C chargers, this cable won't work. So tech collectors or users with mixed devices beware. Alright, let's talk about some real-world performance from users and my own testing. The good news. Charging speeds generally meet expectations when paired with quality USB-C PD chargers. No overheating, no sudden drops in charge rate, which is definitely reassuring. Data sync performance. Fast enough for daily needs, but it's not breaking any world records, as expected from USB 2.0 spec cables. Durability-wise, with careful handling, I'd wager this cable lasts way longer than typical plastic-coated cables, but rough treatment can still fray the ends. So while Syncwire is way tougher than a spaghetti noodle cable, it's not quite indestructible. Now the dreaded moment, the problems. Some users have flagged that the right-angle connector, while ergonomic, sometimes feels a bit loose or wobbly, especially with thicker cases. That defeats the purpose if you face intermittent charging or slight connectivity drops. Others mention that the cable's fancy, aerospace alloy casing adds bulk near the connector, which can cause a slight tangle or difficulty plugging into some laptop ports that are recessed. And remember the data speeds. For those dealing with file-heavy workflows, these specs might feel like a throwback to dial-up days. So if you're a video editor or someone needing quick file transfers, this cable will slow your groove. Here's a last light joke to keep spirits high. What did the USB cable say after a long day? I'm totally drained. But with Syncwire, you get a cable that refuses to be drained easily. It's built to last longer, but just don't ask it to outrun the latest data transfer beasts out there. So where does all this leave us? If you're looking for a stylish, ergonomic, and sturdy USB-C to USB-C cable that offers decent fast charging and works reliably across most devices for everyday use, Syncwire nails it with its smart design and thoughtful extras like the 6.6 FT length and 2-pack value. However, if you're a power user craving ultra-fast data speeds or maximum power output beyond 60W, or if your case is on the chunky side, this cable might throw you a curveball. The rectangle design isn't flawless for every scenario, but it's a refreshing change that can considerably improve your comfort and port lifespan. In conclusion, the Syncwire USB-C to USB-C cable is a worthy buy, especially if your priority is a balance of durability, comfort, and decent charging speed at an affordable price point. It has a few quirks, but nothing a savvy buyer can't manage once you know what to expect. And hey, if nothing else, it gives you two reliable cables that won't tangle like spaghetti in your bag, a small blessing for frequent travelers and multitaskers. For the latest prices and best deals, hit the link in the description below. But keep in mind prices can fluctuate rapidly, so buckle up before they change. Don't miss your shot to grab these cables if they fit your tech needs and budget. And as always, if you found this honest review helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more real-deal reviews that save you money and headaches. Happy charging!